Yo, what's up guys, Xierdan here, and I got another video for you guys. This one's going to be in conjunction with my really long video that either came out before this or after. I don't know which one I'm going to release first. But the other video is talking about and going through a bunch of different websites, including NZXT Build, Corsair's own website, or iBuyPower, Ironside Computers, and things like that. All those different websites, I think we went through about 10 of them, and basically pricing out, comparing how the websites are, how good the websites are, the pricing of the parts, how customizable you can get different PCs, and that's talking all about pre-built and half pre-built, if that makes sense. So sometimes on some of the websites you can pick all of the parts. Some of them you can configure and change some of the parts inside of like kind of a pre-built, half-baked kind of a computer, and sometimes it's just pure pre-built, you can't change anything. So anyway, this video is a much shorter video, and all I'm going to show you is just a particular one website, and then one website to compare building a computer and parts, and then buying a computer for pretty much the same budget, almost the exact same budget, and what that is going to be able to get you. So if we look on Micro Center's website, and again, this part of this is going to be, do you have access to a Micro Center or another place that you can go and build a computer by buying the parts? So if this is, for instance, you going into Micro Center, we can obviously take out the actual build costs out of this. So the Micro Center costs are prices the build for $100, but I'm going to keep that in there just as almost like tax. Again, it's not going to be quite that much, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. But if you want to keep that in mind, this would really be about $2,050 and then tax. So anyway, with Micro Center, if you went and bought the parts yourself, you've got about now, and sorry, another important thing to point out is that you need to be able to get your hands on the actual graphics card that you want, and right now that is extremely hard to do. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I think those are the two most important things to keep in mind. Of the customization, the price, including paying for the build and shipping, and then also, can you actually get your hands on the graphics card that you want for your build? So we've got a Ryzen 7 5800 at 3.8 gigahertz. Of course, you can do whatever you want with that after you get it, since you're the one building. I mean, technically you can do that with a pre-built too. Then we got a B55, 550, which I kept messing up and saying 555 in the other video as well. We've got 32 gigs of memory at 3200, DDR4, of course, a Corsair 5000D, my favorite case on the market right now. We have a 150 watt gold, fully modular, got a 3060, and then we've got a 2 terabyte for games and stuff like that, and then we've got a NVMe boot drive, and the Noctua low profile CPU cooler. I am a air cooler kind of guy. And then I put Windows there as well, because obviously that's a good thing to throw into these builds as well. But obviously you can take that off if you're building it yourself, because you probably already have Windows on a computer. So you can factor that in if you want. Then if we look at Ironside, I'm covering up my shipping stuff at the top. That's why this is dragged down. That's 2,150. So it is literally the exact same price, like $5 difference. Now again, important thing to note again would be the Windows kind of thing. If you're building it yourself, you probably don't even need to buy Windows, because you can just transfer it over from your old PC. And also, again, $100 would be taking off this, so $200 taken off in a way, because you don't have to pay for the build and you don't have to pay for Windows. But they are the same price, all things said, before tax. So, and this includes shipping. So, the shipping and building part. So same price, this is what you're able to get. So we have the exact same setup here. Yeah, 5800 Ryzen 7. Then we've got you can change the cooling a little bit, but again, you get less options with some of these pre-builts. So we've got just their kind of standard high performance because of the beefy specs we've gotten here. I mean, it's not crazy, but this is what they do for a 3060. Then we've got the same motherboard. We only have 16 gigs of RAM this time, again, to make sure that we're hitting the price point. Then we've got Ironside's own via NVMe for the storage, and then we've got no other storage, and then we've got a 3060, same thing. Then we've got a 750 watt instead of 850, and we've got we do have a Wi-Fi card, which is nice, and Windows included, and then obviously you get a bunch of just the warranties and stuff like that. So what are you missing out on then? Obviously you're getting a slightly worse cooling in terms of choice. Now the actual cooling performance with this high performance liquid cooling may be comparable to the Noctua or whatever else you end up putting it in yourself, but obviously that has to be factored in, and not really a negative there. We're obviously not able to, we're missing out on 16 gigabytes of memory, or missing out on a secondary storage drive for your games and stuff like that. But again, that can easily be bought later. We're missing out on a 850 gold power supply, and also we're missing out on our choice of case. So all in all, I would say, is this it? Is that the be all end all? Like, okay, you need to build? No, because again, it's important to note, can you actually get your hands on a 3060 or whatever graphics card you're trying to put in? And then also, are you going to be doing, it depends on what kind of build you're doing. If, let's say, Ironside has the kind of build that the exact same parts that you actually want to use available to you, then like some of the things like I talked about, like not being able to get the 850 gold, especially at our price point. But if you're able to get the same sort of things on Ironside or a different website that you're building on, I keep saying Ironside, but I just mean in general on any website, then obviously that makes it easier, because then you aren't sacrificing changing parts to fit what that website allows you to do. But again, if you keep those things in mind, and then obviously the cost of the build, and then also you probably don't need Windows, you factor all that in, as well as the know-how. I think that it just comes down to those different things and everyone's case scenario. I would say that there's nothing wrong right now, especially right now with everything going on, with getting a pre-built computer. Obviously, if you are someone that builds computers regularly, or you have done plenty of time, or at least once in the past, then maybe you should just hold off and wait until maybe next year if you can, and then maybe by then graphics cards are a little bit easier to get, and also by then new stuff will be coming out, and then you're able to get more bang for your buck, and you're able to build the computer yourself, which is obviously always a good experience. And it's not always a good experience, but it's good experience for you to have building a computer, and having your hands on the parts and getting to hand pick everything. And that's obviously part of getting a computer and gaming on a computer for a lot of people. If you're the type of person that has a current computer and it's able to get the frames that you need, you're able to do what you need to do with it well enough, and you can hold off, then it's probably better just to hold off right now and probably build. But if you need a computer right now, this is probably the most likely time that it has, or the best time it has ever been to buy pre-built, because of the shortage and a lot of supply, not just graphics cards but other things too, and the ease of getting the PC from a pre-built website. But anyways, I hope you guys just enjoyed the video. Go watch the other video if you want me to go, or if you want to see me go through all these different PC build websites. I went through about 10 of them, and we went through in detail every single one, and then at the end and throughout I talked about what my recommendations were for what website you should go with depending on your situation, and which ones kind of not necessarily to stay away from, but what to keep in mind with different ones. Anyways, I'll see you later. Enjoy. Peace out.